So I'm in bed and my microphone is way over yonder, and I am just comfy cozy at 2:24 in the morning. Now, about a couple months ago, I also don't have that much room on my phone, so I'm going to make this short and sweet. About a couple months ago, maybe 3, maybe 4, I was having a prophetic dream and the word Artemisia just was plastered like in front of my face. I woke up and I started doing some research. And that is one of the episodes I'm bringing to my Patreon, is what I found doing deep research into Artemisia. It has to do with this goddess named Artemisia. It has to do with the family of plants under Artemis, which you'd be surprised to know covers many different plants, a couple of which I work with and are crazy amazing against parasites. It has to do with wormwood in the Bible, and it all connects, and it's very deep. That's a little bit further down the list of one of the videos I'm bringing. Okay. Also, rewind back in the day, someone on my Cassandra Caption TikTok said, Ivermectin is from wormwood, 100%. Well, it's an isolated out. It's a drug from something that's isolated out, and anytime you isolate something out, it's synthetic, so it's not natural. Okay, so apparently it is modeled to an extent after this plant. However, it is something that is isolated out. It is isolated out of this plant. They try to convince you here under the here's another thing. Nobel Peace Prize for it's not on this page, for discovering a novel therapy. The word novel, if you ever looked into Judy Mikovits, who I covered when she dropped in popularity because she was arrested and then the charges were dropped, and they tried to convince people that she was a phony, and then she rose back up. But before she rose back up, I picked up her story, and it's one of the complimentary episodes in my Spotify podcast, which is Cassandra Captioned, Casandra Captioned. And that was before I just got better and better and better at these podcasts, but I think it's an amazing episode. And she'll tell you all about what the word novel means. And in my Patreon, I point out that word many times, as well as in the podcast. So it's interesting. I hope it's interesting to you that two men won a Nobel Peace Prize for their discovery in a novel therapy that the frontline doctors then use to say it's best for early treatment of COVID, which is also described as a novel virus. Haha, truth in plain sight much? And so anyways, so here we are. This is apparently coming from this plant, which is another code word from this plant, right? It's isolated out. They fundamentally changed it. Today, the Ivermectin derivative, which Ivermectin, I show, it's probably part 2 or part 3. All of it was known for having really, really bad side effects. Derivative Ivermectin. So here we go again. Search ancient literature on herbal medicine in her quest to develop novel malaria therapies. So you have to know what novel means. I'm not going to say it here on YouTube because it could get this video taken away. The plant Artemisia annua turned out to be an interesting candidate, and 2 developed a purification procedure which rendered the active agent artemisinin. So this is what they do with all synthetic supplements, everything. They are taking out an active component of nature. You have to take it into a lab in order to do that, and that then makes the product synthetic. Anytime you isolate out an active component, it comes with dangers to the body, and your body doesn't fully recognize it. It causes confusion of the body and always gets backed up in the liver and the kidneys, and every single one of these contains something I can't say here, but the first word starts with an N and it's 4 letters. Let's just say nano. The second letter starts with a T. This right here, coming across this, is very, very prophetic for me right now, because I know the Lord was trying to point out the plants that are all in the Artemisia family. See, wormwood is just one of them. And how I saw that it's connected to the goddess and the wormwood coming from the sky that's going to be unaliving third of the waters. It's very, very interesting, but not only would that episode be dropping, but part 12 of why you should not take ivermectin will be dropping this week. So one of the things that was in the frontline doctors who... What about the frontline doctors, huh? Well, they love to advertise this drug. It's on their page, and they talk about how people got court orders to have their loved ones be able to take ivermectin. Well, you know, I'll be bringing a story of what one of those court orders resulted in for this woman's husband. She fought for her husband to take this in order to save him, and it did the exact opposite. And personal testimonies from a couple people that I know. Actually, no, one more personal on one person that I know and her experience with this. But then I think in the same video will also come one or two personal of zeolite as well that I forgot to throw in my zeolite exposed video. And I know I'm missing some stuff, and we're going to go further into these frontline doctors. So, yeah, that is dropping this week, and I will remember to throw it in the comments, or I'm not really sure how that works. I will try. I'm a one-woman show, so I'm really doing my best. They censor me so hard, which is another reason I'm now venturing out on YouTube. I'm also a live-in nurse. I make all my products by hand. It's a lot of garden to cup and table as well. So, I mean, my hands are super full. So I may or may not remember to remind people on YouTube that this episode is uploaded. So keep an eye out. Go to patreon.com and search Sovereign Hippie. This is going to be in my member Patreon, and this is only $5 a month. So this will be part 12. If you want to see what many awake, quote, awake people are missing, severely missing, make sure you go tune in.